Good morning, wonderful people. My name's AJ Akpodiete, but you can call me AJ for short. And I say good morning because I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning to make this video, but also I kind of wanted to watch the sunset. The sun, but I didn't realize the sun rose in the other direction, so yeah. I've wanted to record this video for a little while, so I figured, you know what, let's just wake up early before anyone else does, like no distractions, and do this. So I have been traveling around a lot this summer, and I knew I was going to, so that was kind of something I was looking forward to as the school year was coming to an end. It was like, okay, here we go. I'm going to be going to Maryland. I thought I was going to go to Florida. I'm going to be going to Washington, Arizona. One of the things that I thought would be happening was that while I was traveling, that I'd also be creating, that I'd also be writing more music, that seeing all the different places would inspire me. And all this different stuff would help me to create more, which is something I really wanted to do this summer. And that didn't really happen. Don't get me wrong, I've been making more videos than I was during the school year, which is great, but in terms of writing music, it hasn't been going as much as I wanted it to. But I got the opportunity to go to New York a couple weeks ago, New York the state, not Las Vegas, New York. I went to the actual state of New York, and it was really great. I was there with my dad and my sister and one of my sister's friends, and we got to see the Statue of Liberty. We got to see went to Brooklyn Tabernacle Church. We got to see the new World Trade Centers. While I was there, even though I was in this beautiful place in New York, in my mind, I kind of wish that I wished at that moment that I could have been back at home, that I could have been resting and getting ready for another week to hopefully break this funk of not creating stuff. And I'd also released a video last night, so I kind of wanted to be checking my analytics and stuff. And so even though I was physically in New York, mentally I was somewhere else. But then we got to the 9/11 memorial. It was in New York, where the old Twin Towers, where there's a memorial to all the people who lost their lives. And it's kind of I can't really explain what it looks like, but there's a picture up on screen. And across it, there's the names of all the people who lost their lives in that tragedy. What's interesting is that whenever something relating to death happens, or we're reminded of someone's death, it kind of causes us to pause for a moment and maybe think or pray about that person or maybe their families. And as I looked at all those names, it kind of just when it made me pause, it made me think wow, all of these people whose names are on here, they had families and people who or maybe they had roommates or people who that morning they left for work, they left these people that morning to go to work, and whatever kind of interaction they had or didn't have, their loved ones didn't know that was the last interaction they were going to have with that person. And it kind of made me realize I get to have this moment right here and right now with my family. And I should cherish this moment because I never know when my last interaction with them is going to be. I should, instead of having my mind somewhere else, I should be present, right here, right now, and, just cherish and love these moments with the people that I say that I cherish and love. I wanted to make a video about all of that pertaining to these people that this whole experience, being at the 9/11 memorial. The next day, I flew back over here to the West Coast, and something that I was not expecting to happen was that I got sick about a week later, and I was sick in such a way that I couldn't talk for very long, so I couldn't record videos really, and I was not feeling like doing anything, because like, when you're sick and it's like you don't feel you don't feel like actually doing anything. Not only was I sick, I was still kind of just like creatively not where I wanted to be. Like I wasn't, like I was looking back, like I would have spurts of creativity to write things, but then I would go back to them the next day or a little bit later and not really like them anymore, and then kind of have to like start back from square one. I was just not satisfied with everything, and I wanted to be able to be working more. I wanted to be able to be writing more. I wanted to be making more videos and stuff. On top of that, I've been in Washington. It's like since like the day after I got back from New York, I flew to Washington, and I'm from California, so like none of my friends are here. So like not only was I sick and uninspired, I was also like, pretty lonely, like because like there's no one for me to spend time with. I mean, aside from of course, like my younger siblings and my mom, and with just everything going on and being frustrated, thankfully one of my friends called me just randomly just to like see how I was doing. We talked for a little bit. She talked about stuff that she was up to. I talked about stuff that I was up to, which was not a lot, but after explaining to her everything about me being sick and like not having my friends around and not being able to do like all the stuff that I enjoy doing, like doing Young Life stuff and writing music and all of the things, she told me something. She said something interesting, and it was not what I was expecting her to say. She said, maybe God's putting you in a season of rest. And that was not necessarily something that I guess I wanted to hear them say, but this was a person who's like really smart and wise, and so I was like, let's like, knowing that I've trusted her judgment so many times, if now she's saying something like this is a time for you to rest, perhaps I should take her at her word. Like I should take this advice and see where it takes me. And there's this chapter in the Bible that it was written by this really smart guy, and he was trying to find like what the value was in life. And in one of the parts of this book, it's called Ecclesiastes, and in chapter 3 it starts off by saying there's a time for everything and a season for every activity under heaven. And the whole chapter goes on to kind of say stuff like, there's a time to be born, there's a time to die, there's a time to mourn, there's a time to dance, there's a time to cry, and there's a time to laugh, and there's a time for all these different things. And in reading that and in hearing what like the advice my friend was giving, and after going to the 9/11 memorial, all of it kind of culminated to make me realize I so often try to be somewhere mentally that I'm not, or try and wish that my situation that I'm in just what didn't exist. And when I really decided to take my friend's advice and rest for a couple days, I got better and I wasn't sick anymore. Because like when you're sick, it's the best thing for you to do is to rest, and to also drink lots of fluids. Instead of trying to fight against the season or like the time, I instead made the most of the season. I made the most of my time and leaned into what the time that I was in required. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm rambling. I'm kind of tired. I just woke up. In the end, I think that my personal takeaway from everything that's happened is that like from this point forward, like I'm going to take every moment, every second and every season and make the most out of it. Instead of wishing that it was something else, I'm going to be present and I'm going to do my very best to make the most of every moment. Those are my thoughts, and I'm sticking to them like glue, at least for now. Yeah, no real end of the video stuff to say. I'm tired and it's late. I also bought a tripod, which is really cool. So like my phone's over there, and like I can put it up anywhere I want. So this is nice. But my name's AJ Akpodiete, but you can call me AJ for short. Question: What do you do to rest, or like what are some things that help you to relax? For me, I like to read, which is weird because I never used to think that, but like I read the Bible, and I like to drink tea and play video games and stuff like that. But let me know like what you do to relax down in the comments below. Anyway, my name's AJ Akpodiete, but you can call me AJ for short, and I'm praying that your lives are filled with purpose, wonder, and love.